Awesome. So first of all, if you are new to the show, my name is Cindy Williams, and I'm your host. This is Bliss to Abundance, and every week we do a show to talk about different topics, and this week we're talking about the cost of doubt. So we're going to get into that here in just a second. If you don't already know me, there's 3 things you should know about me. I have, besides my family, which of course is my first love, I have 3 major loves. The first one is travel, which you probably know because you're following this channel. And then I love coffee mugs. I have this insane coffee mug collection, so I always bring a coffee mug to show you guys. I know I had this one a couple weeks ago, but we are building a house, so I had to pick like my 10 favorite mugs, and so I'll have more once we get unpacked in the new house in a couple months. The other thing I love is crazy earrings, and in Austin, where I live, there's no shortage of amazing earrings. You guys think I moved here because Austin is a cool place to live, but really it's because of the earring supply. So at any rate, today, I want to dive right in because we have a lot of notes and a big topic, and I know a lot of you are tuning in. We PR'd this session early. If you're rewatching this later, remember you can catch us on Roku, Amazon, YouTube, IGTV, all those cool places, and Amazon Fire on streaming. But you guys are here live right now if you're watching on Facebook. And so if you have questions as we go, or tell me as we're going through what your biggest doubt that you're dealing with in your life right now. So I want to talk about what doubt is really costing you. Let's start there. And I heard an explanation from a yoga instructor just yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect for the live stream. So I kind of rewrote my notes for today, and I was like, I have to include that. And so I was doing this yoga meditation, and she said, doubt, anxiety, fear, they show up in your core, kind of in your root chakra. They show up in your gut if you're not into chakras. Like they show, and you know what it feels like. It's in your stomach. It feels yucky. It feels gross. It feels uncomfortable. But what she was saying is, she said, in her very, of course she's calm, way more even energy than I am. I'm a little excited, right? But she said, anxiety and fear and doubt, they show up in your root chakra, in your gut for the rest of us, right? Your root chakra, that when you don't trust, they show up when you don't trust that the universe will unfold everything perfectly for you. And I thought, yes, that's it. It's the not trusting of the process. It's the not trusting of the plan. It's the not trusting that everything is going to work out. That is a hard thing for all of us. And so what happens is that manifests into anxiety and yuckiness and tummy aches and should I, could I? And so that's what it feels like. And the problem is, when you're trying to do something big or you're considering a change, I don't know if you caught, I did an impromptu live stream yesterday with Caitlin, who's on my team, and she just went through this major life shift of moving across the country. And so we were talking about, shifting into her purpose. But the problem with change is, and this came up yesterday, it's never going to feel comfortable. That's why we don't like it. That's why people don't love change, because it doesn't feel good. Hey, Eric. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Kai Ricey. Everyone logging on. You guys tell me. I know no one wants to share first, but tell me, like, what's a big doubt you're dealing with in your life right now? But the thing is about change and making big things happen in your life is like, it never is going to feel good. Like if I try to tell you, oh, it's going to be fine, but like, no, there's stuff you're going to have to work through, shift through. Change is uncomfortable. That's the first thing to know. And it's crazy because my son's learning about butterflies right now in school. And we were sitting on the couch having a little, he's almost 10 and I'm the last 10 minutes of snuggles I'm ever going to get in my life. So every time he's willing to snuggle, I'm like, yeah. So he's like, Mommy, do you know if a butterfly is in its catalyst and you just cut the bottom to try to help it and let it out, that it'll die? It won't make it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sad. Well, and I said, so why do you think that is? And he said, they have to stay in that environment, and then they have to work through being uncomfortable and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And when they're ready, then it breaks, and then they can be a butterfly. And I was like, this is crazy, because I set the topic for this like weeks ago, and then isn't it funny how like the universe delivers these little jewels? Like, I didn't plan to talk about any of the stuff, but I was like, yes, you have to go through the growth, the uncomfortableness, the getting stronger. So when you do emerge, when you do step into that new life, right, going from a caterpillar to a butterfly, you have to be strong enough. And because it is the process of going through that change, it is the process of going through that uncomfortableness, it is the process that it's hard, is what makes it so beautiful. And what a nice reflection in nature that it does that for us, right? So the way that I kind of look at when I work with my clients and they're like, Cindy, I want to create this type of travel business, or I have this big dream, or whatever's going on, you have two paths that you can go to. And if you're considering a dream, or there's something, maybe it's not travel, but maybe there's a calling on your heart that you know you've wanted to do for years. I talked to a client yesterday, and she's like, Cindy, I have wanted to do this business for 30 years. 30 years she's been sitting and wanting and going back to it and having that calling, and finally she's going to act on it, right? So how awesome is that? But if you have that calling for whatever your thing is, you have two paths you can walk right now. And I want to take like the emotion out of it for a second and walk you guys through like the scenario, like let's roadmap it together. So the first, option you have is, I'm going to go for it, right? I'm going to go for it. So what happens when you go for it is you act on it, right? You take some step forward and you act on moving forward in your purpose. The second choice you have is, I say, you're either going to go for it or you're going to stay in it. Are you going to stay in, that little protective environment? Are you going to stay uncomfortable? Are you going to stay in whatever you're in today? So you either act or you don't act. So you see how we're doing the path here. So road one is I'm going to go for it. I'm going to act on it. Road two is I'm going to stay in it because it feels uncomfortable and I'm not going to act. So two things happen. If you act on it, like I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, you're going to go through change. We just said change is never comfortable. So if you act on it, you're going to have to deal with some of your mindset stuff. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first. It's going to be hard. It's always hard to do something new. And it's going to challenge you, right? You're trying to stretch those butterfly wings. You're trying to break through to evolve and become that next thing. So that's the change path. But if you don't act, what happens? You're going to stay in resistance with yourself. Right? And what does staying in resistance feel like? Kyra has a good one over here. Biggest doubt is that people won't book. I can't see the whole thing here. 1 second. I have people chatting. People won't book in my group if I start one. Yeah, Kyra, but what's the harm in starting one? Who cares, right? Start it. What's the worst that could happen? We'll get to that. But I love it. Thank you for being the first, and let's all give Kyra, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but I'm gonna give you a round of applause for being the first to do a vulnerable share, because it feels real, right? There's a fear there. So, but if you don't act, so let's go back to the past. Either I'm acting on it, and now I'm walking through. What does it feel like when you don't act and when you stay in resistance with yourself? When you stay in resistance, sometimes it doesn't feel as big as doing the other thing because you're used to it. But what is really staying in resistance with yourself? When you're in resistance, you're generally uncomfortable. There's something else out there, but you're just not doing it. You're just kind of, it's like a slow burn. It's like a slow rub that it's out there. You're feeling uninspired. You're feeling unfulfilled. You're supposed to do something, or there's something that you want to do. It can feel like anxiety. It can feel like boredom. It can feel like burnout because you're doing stuff that doesn't set your soul on fire. It can feel like all of those things. And sometimes it can even show up as sickness, right? That came up on our show yesterday. It can feel like sickness. It can manifest into sickness because if you are constantly doing things that aren't in accordance with what your true life path is, that's your body's way of going, you should be going over here. You should be going, hey, I'm trying to tell you subtly, right? And it's kind of the universe's way of trying to pat you in the right direction. But the only difference, if you're change you're dealing with, it's uncomfortable, it could be hard, it challenges you. If you're staying in resistance, it's still uncomfortable, you're feeling uninspired, you could have anxiety, you could have sickness. The only difference, guys, And this is, if I can get you to get one thing today, because it took me 10 years to get it. It took me freaking 10 years to get it. But when I did, my entire life changed. The only difference is that you are used to sitting in the shit of resistance. You are used to staying there. You are used to being in resistance. You are used to crappy but comfortable. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. You guys hear me? Are you feeling me? Are you getting that? So if you're going to be in the crap anyway, right? It's kind of like, you know, realizing you can have a slow uncomfortableness for your whole life and never really go after your purpose, or you can do some stuff that feels hard and uncomfortable in a different way, but you can go towards what your path is. And let me tell you a secret. The minute you act on pursuing your life's purpose, your energy will immediately shift. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not going to be saying, oh, the flowers are going to bloom and rainbows are going to come and unicorns are going to be in your backyard. But it's what I'm saying the minute you say, I don't care what else happens in life, I am going after my dream, my thing, whatever I want, you will feel a shift in your energy. And this happens every day when people enroll in our program, because they come and they're like, I want to run this big travel business. And they're like, oh, I'm so nervous. Should I do this? But then the minute they do it, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. The minute they get on that first call, they're like, oh, it's like a weight is off your shoulders, because it's still a little bit scary, but you know you're stepping into a new reality. You're putting yourself back in the captain's seat and saying, I am the captain of the ship, the painter of my masterpiece, the author of my book, right? You're putting yourself back in that place where you're in charge come hell or high water, right? So it will shift. So here's the thing. I want to tell you why that shift happens. It's because you just flipped from existing to living. Let that sit. Like, you just flipped a switch from existing in whatever, you know, the status quo, the crappy but comfortable, that I'm going to keep doing this because it's better than dealing with uncomfortable change or risking failing, right? You just flipped a switch from existing, going through your day. If you're living the same day and waking up hating your life every day, and Sunday afternoons is like, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. If that you're existing to a certain degree. If you're going on vacation to get away from your life, that is existing. It's not living, right? So that's why the when you flip that switch, it feels so different. That's why you can shift into something else. I have some more doubts coming in. Cindy, is there clientele? Is there a what around? Hang on, I need my glasses. 1 second. I see you, Kathy. I hate resistance. Oh, citrine. Yes, my husband got me. I know I normally wear my moonstone. You guys always comment on that. Yes, my husband got me this for Christmas, so thank you for noticing. Michael says, not a doubt, but anxiety starting over rebranding. Yeah, because like Michael's like, how are people going to perceive me? Am I going to lose clients? Is there going to be? So it's that whole, and sometimes I like to say like, most of the things people worry about never happen, right? I'm not saying that's the case, Michael, but that's what it feels like. Like some stuff pops up because you're feeling anxious about shifting and making that change in your business. Eric says, biggest doubt is we don't continue to grow. That is so valid, Eric. That's so valid. And because if you don't grow, you can't support your family and you can't, so that worry sets in. But if you let that fester, right? So, and you guys have started down your path, because I know I've seen Eric on the feeds before. And you know what? It's not Michael, it's Michelle. Sorry. Y'all, I need a new glasses prescription. I apologize. Like, it's like little blurry bubbles. And so I apologize. So, but you guys have started down your path, but even when you make big changes in your business again down the road, you have to go through this same thing of like, why is this resistance coming up? Am I going to sit with this old branding? And am I going to sit and let my business be in status quo? Or am I going to pony up and go, all right? Because this isn't, when you make a big life change and you follow your dreams, like the first thing is making the decision and going your path. But what I'm trying to get you guys to get is like, once it happens and you do this, you have to repeat the process when other stuff comes up to continue to evolve and continue to grow. You know what? First you're a butterfly, and then you're a bird, and then you're a falcon. I don't know what the pecking order would be, but you get the idea. Like, you want to keep evolving. So this process could come up again and again. But the difference is when you're in that driver's seat, when you've made that change in making the switch, it changes everything. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question right now. So like either way, and maybe you're watching this or catching the replay. If you're catching the replay later, put a little CTR so I know you guys are getting value out of this content. But either way, so if you're going to go down path one, which is I'm going to act on what my life's calling or what I'm pulled to do or what's on my heart to move forward on, or you're going to go down path one is act on it, path two is I'm not going to act on it. If either way you end up dealing with crap, wouldn't you rather have a prize at the end? Wouldn't you rather be in the captain's seat? Wouldn't you rather be going after your dreams? So, right, the choice really is like deal with some yuck right now and get your dream and move forward in purpose and intention and start to have that shift of at least feeling better about your direction, or live or deal with a lifetime of yuck if you're going to stay in that crappy but comfortable. So I pose that question because I want you guys to think about this is the real cost of doubt, right? If doubt is keeping you in that crappy but comfortable, you have to recognize, if you can take the emotion out for a moment and think about those two paths, it's the same work either way. If you take a lifetime of crappy but comfortable and compact it, it's probably less work to actually follow your dreams, because at least then the universe is standing up to support you. At least then you're feeling empowered. At least then you're in that place where you're moving forward. And once you see success from that first time, that is when you're like, oh, you know what? Change wasn't so bad. It equaled blah, blah, blah. Right? And then you can repeat that process with the other things like your branding, like starting a group, like growing your business, the things that you guys are telling me on the feed. So that's awesome. So I'm going to give you guys some tools now. Like you're having this difficulty. What are some things that you can do to start to mediate that process of change not feeling so bad? Because that's the thing. Like, yes, it's going to be work. And yes, like I said, change is never comfortable, but there are some things you can do to ease your path. So the first is accept that change and feeling uncomfortable is part of the process. You're in the butterfly thing, right? Like that is part of the process of growing, of growth, of evolving. So accept that is normal. I've run 3 businesses now, right? Grown them all to big sizes. I didn't just fly open my doors and people were running in, throwing credit cards at my face. No. Mistakes happened. I spent money where I shouldn't have. I did things I wasn't supposed to. I did all the mistakes so you guys don't have to. If it's a travel business, right? Other businesses, not so much. But if it's a travel business, I know it works because I went through the painful process of figuring it out. So you have to know that it's going to be an evolution process. So accept that change and feeling uncomfortable is just going to be part of your journey as an entrepreneur or as a person living life, right? If you're not willing to get uncomfortable, you're never going to grow. Like you're not going to grow your wings, right? That's the prize. You get your wings at the end because you push through, because you evolve, because you got stronger. So let me give you some coping tools though, as you're going through this difficult change. The first one is your mindset. And I know I drill this down with you guys all the time. And there is a reason why mindset is the first thing we talk about in our Careers on Vacation Mastermind. Because if you get this part right, you won't just have a successful business, you'll have a successful life because you can reuse those tools. And when people are going through massive change and they're growing huge travel businesses, or you're making big change in your life, as you're going through that process, having tools to support a positive mindset, having people that have a similar mindset in your circle, those are things that will escalate you being more successful faster. I always say my job is to make you the most amount of abundance in the least amount of time. And putting mindset in the program happened years ago because I realized really quickly, like, if people don't get that part, it's like I can give them all the marketing, all the automation, all the, sales tips, all of the tools and tricks and tips and all of that stuff. I can give you the technical how to set up an agency and how to grow. I can tell you and give you all those things. But if you don't believe it, if you don't get inside of what your unique vision is for your life, then it'll still happen, but like it's a slower burn, right? So if I can get people's mindset tied in with now here's all the roadmap to success, it's like a frickin', putting lighter fluid on the fire. Boom, right? So mindset, what can you do about your mindset today? The next one is trust. You got to trust. It's like the yoga lady, and her name's Ashley Turner. If you guys have Gaia on Roku or Amazon or any of those, she does just quick little 5-10 minute meditations. Check her out. And I don't remember, she only has like 5 or 6, I think, loaded on Gaia. Gaia is the network, by the way, the channel, or the network channel. And she has some great meditations, but that's what she was talking about. She's like, you're not the reason. I'll try to do my best, Ashley, hear her voice. The reason you're feeling anxiety and stress and, you're feeling uncomfortable is because you're not trusting that the universe is going to provide everything you need to whatever, right? So it's getting into she's getting you to root yourself to go, you got to trust. Like you have to have a little bit of trust that when you're stepping towards your life's journey or your life's path, that you are going to be supported, that the mentor you need is going to show up, that the technology you need is going to show up, that the people you need to meet that are going to book vacations from you or whatever your life dream is, they're going to show up. You got to have some trust on your path. So that's the second one. And then the last one is meditation. If you really, really struggle with this, and I've had people that have gone through my program that they are in the middle of divorces, they have lost spouses, they have lost children, and they are going through a major life change, and it wakes them up to, it's my time, right? And so unfortunately, sometimes those harsh events are a catalyst for getting you on your life path, but either way, I've had people that struggle really, really deeply with this change. And if that's you and you hold a lot of anxiety and you hold a lot of stress and you hold a lot of that crappy but comfortable stuff, meditation is a great way. And you can go to iTunes and download the ones you listen to at night. You can go to Gaia and you can, do the yoga ones if you want, whatever your thing is. But if you've never done it before, meditation really changed my life. Like about 6 months before I started working through my big shifts of letting my other super successful business go because I didn't love it anymore and moving 100% into travel, I had to meditate because I had a panic attack. I went to the hospital and I was like, I got to change something in my life. Like I'm a type A, right? So I think I can go, do, everything will be fine. And my body was like, whoop, it broke down. And I thought I was having a heart attack. And we were in the ER till like 3 a.m. And my doctor's like, do you have a lot of stress? And I'm like, no. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, she takes on so much stress and she doesn't realize it. But my body shut down. So after that, he's like, look, you can take these pills or you can meditate or you can, have half a glass of wine here and there. So for me personally, there's nothing wrong with medication. But for me personally, I was like, I want to try to do this on my own first. And I started with meditation. And if I needed to, I had a half a glass of wine, right? And it really changed my life to just getting into that trusting place and rooting my emotions. And so I could make that big shift and change. So there's a reason you guys are on this call today. I hope you're thinking about what is the real cost of doubt on your life. And these are questions that I want to ask you. Is doubt costing you your dream? Is your dream dying? Are you existing and not living? Is that the cost of doubt for you? Is staying in resistance causing you to get ill like it did for me, right? Is that on Sundays? Are you like, is every Sunday, 52 of your Sundays ruined because you have to go to something you don't want to do on Monday? That's a big cost. Think about that time-wise. My husband was saying that the other day. He's like, man, I used to be like Sunday at 3 o'clock would hit and I would be like, whir, like the cloud of having to work. Is it costing you every Sunday? Is it costing you time with your kids? Is resistance costing you what your children are learning from you? Someone said that to me when I was going through my shift. They said, what do you think your kids will learn if you follow your dreams? And I was like, oh boy, because I'm like, follow your dreams, kids, right? But what am I modeling? Kids don't do what you tell them. They do what you model, right? My daughter was on a live stream a couple months ago, and we just did it live. Like, I didn't ask her questions ahead of time. And she's like, it's just different now. Like, it's a whole new mommy. You have time for us now. And it used to be you would come home and you'd be stressed out and you'd be tired. We didn't get to spend time with you. And now I'm not afraid to follow my dreams because, and I was like, you know, success, even whatever happens with me, fine. But if that's the one thing that I pass on to my children, awesome. And, you know, the other thing I want to say, guys, is it is never too late. It is never too late. You know, my purpose in life is to inspire and motivate people to follow their bliss to abundance. That's why I titled the show Bliss to Abundance. But as a coach, mentor, motivational speaker, my job is to like shake your shoulders in a very lovingly way. But I want to wake you up. I want to wake you up to your purpose. I want to wake you up to your mission. I want you to take a first step somewhere. So listen, whatever your thing is, I want you to think about, what is doubt costing me? Why am I not going down the path? You know, the path of least resistance is actually more painful, right? Take the path of making a little bit of change and get back in the driver's seat. And listen, if starting, I don't know how you found this, you know, you might have found us on Roku or Amazon, maybe you're watching it on the Travel Channel, I don't know, YouTube, whatever. If starting or supersizing your travel agency is your thing, you should definitely be applying for our Careers on Vacation Mastermind. And it's so much more than a travel school, right? We're teaching you how to supersize your travel business. But this mindset stuff, it is all the way through the program because I need you to get that so you can get results. The reason we have a zillion positive reviews, go out and check YouTube, is because we get people to shift their mindset, and then they can do all the technical stuff we teach them, the automation, the growth techniques, the how to monetize their business, all that stuff comes. But guys, I hope this was helpful for you today. I see, you know, thank you for those of you who are being brave with your questions too. I'm going to peek at these real quick. And why I'm pulling these up, careersonvacation.com/ready now. I always forget to say that, but that's the link if you guys want to apply for the program or to work with me directly. I lost my comments. Hang on, I'm going to find them. All right, Marcy says, I'm awake. Yes, Marcy's on my team, and she's actually one of our mentors in the program. So she's one of our awesome coaches. Today, love this today. So many times we're our own worst enemy. That is so true. Eric says, if you're stuck in your head, you can doom yourself. 100%. Absolutely. Wendy says, just scrolling through and wow, your passion caused me to pause. I know. Is it the hands? Is it the crazy hands? Yeah, I love that. So someone else had some doubts in here. I wanted to keep in mind, guys, we're on all these platforms. So sometimes it lets me see these quotes and sometimes it doesn't. It's only letting me see like the last 4 or 5. So I'll go back and I'll drop you guys a little line later. And listen, if you didn't catch the whole thing, remember you can catch us on all the places. Roku, Amazon is where the show streams live. It takes a few weeks delay, but YouTube it will be on this afternoon. I'm going to push it over to our Careers on Vacation group in Facebook, which, by the way, if you're an aspiring travel professional, definitely request to join to our group. That's where we put a lot of our cool exclusive content. And guys, I'm going to be in Florida in a few weeks. I'm going to Florida for a month because our awesome travel agency business allows us to do that. Me and my husband work full-time in our travel business. So we're going to be streaming from Florida. Get excited. But thanks for tuning in today. I love you guys. Get out there and get after your dream. You got this. I promise you got this. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.